I'll get everything ready here. All right. I'm just going to open up the space right now. And hi, everyone. This is Digital Femme with Rex Gatling, and we are waiting for Hexadize. This is our first episode of the XR discussions on Tech Talk Tuesday. We're planning to hold this every month. We were going to say the third Tuesday of every month, but oh look, there was 4 weeks in October, so it's going to be like, let's just call it the second last week, the second last Tuesday of the month. That's how it's going to go. So right now we are multi-streaming. I have Rex with me right here on the live stream. In addition to, we are broadcasting live on Metaverse Radio and the Twitter X space. What I will do is I'm going to say that this program's content does not necessarily represent the views of Metaverse Radio and is for entertainment only. It is not legal, medical, financial, or investment advice. The hosts, guest speakers, artists, and other collaborators may have personal or financial interest in the subjects they discuss. So please critically assess the information presented. Not all content is appropriate for all ages. Listener discretion is advised. And ooh, we have our oh my God, there he is. We had him. Hex came in and then he popped out. I think he's just testing something, but we'll have him here. Anyway, I'm gonna like share the room here on Twitter Space, and we'll wait for Rex. Hex, this is gonna be crazy, guys. So Rex, tell us
Yes.
what you're doing and what's been going on with you since the last time we spoke. Was it like a month ago?
Yeah. So if you don't know, Rex Gatling here. I'm an XR developer. I build for augmented reality glasses and as well as virtual reality headsets. So lately, I've been working with now the new Snap glasses, the new Snap spectacle glasses that you see here. I'm now building apps for these. I'm a part of their developer program. After testing it for a couple of weeks and just really seeing it in action out there in the real world, they're one of the best, I would say, augmented reality glasses you can build for. But the only thing that I would say is, of course, it's a little bit bigger than the X Real glasses. But I would say so far, just building for them, it's been really cool. I've been building a lot of good lenses and stuff. So yeah, so I would just say, just ever since the last time we talked, the industry's changed. A lot of people are now embracing augmented reality glasses. Now it's like a really hot topic. Now after a couple of years of just on and off, but now it's really the hot topic.
Okay, first of all, when did you get the Snap glasses?
Yeah, I got them last week. I got them in the mail last week, and I just started building for them, building some lenses, building a little small games, and so forth. It's a little different from building from the traditional glasses that I usually build for because of the coding. It's a completely different experience. You really have to really be careful as far as on UI placement, how people are going to interact with it, and it's all hands. It's all hand tracking. No phone, no nothing. It's all hand tracking.
Okay, whoa. Okay, you have a pair of X Reels, do you not?
Yes.
You also have a pair of like the Meta, is it threes?
Yeah. I have the Meta 3 Meta Quest headset. I have the Magic Leap glasses and the X Real glasses.
You don't happen to have them all with you, kind of like laying around in
I
front
can
of
get
you.
them. I can get them.
Oh, yes, please. Please
Yes.
get
Give
them.
me give me
Just this
one
is
second.
chill. This is totally chill. Awesome. Wow, look at that. I'm in between an R and an H, and then the H is here. Woohoo! I was gonna make something like there he is. There's our beloved Hex.
What's
Hex,
happening, everybody? So he's grabbing glasses. I'm ready for this. This is
I know
cool,
you are. You got glasses. I
right?
got glasses. You have
You-
your X Real
I've got.
glasses.
I do. I bet they are right. Well, I've got my beam here. We're getting ready to walk out the door. We're gonna, you know how it is. It's Techie Tuesday, so we're gonna tech it up today in the Tuesdays. How you been, Carmen?
I've been good. I'm really happy that
Good.
we remember that we were going to do a weekly XR space. The three of us, Rex,
Finally,
Hex,
right?
and Digi, right? So this is perfect. Um, I'm wondering, do you know? Okay, I don't know. Okay, have you seen Rex's new set of shades?
His what now?
Have you seen Rex's new set of glasses? There he is.
The newest.
Whoa!
There we
Go
go.
ahead.
There we go.
There we
No,
go.
he put out a picture not too many days ago. I want to say it was just like stacks on stacks on stacks. Are we gonna get the stacks now? Is that what's happening?
That's
Yeah, so these are the X Real glasses I have here. The X Real Air glasses. I don't have the X Real Ultras yet. I've kind of been just between development, so I'm really just been focusing on the X Real Air and as well as the X Real Ultras. It isn't really too different between the two. But here's my other glasses that I have. I have
Yeah,
the Magic,
let's do a comparison.
I
Let's
have
see how cool.
The Magic Leap glasses.
Come
Let me
on,
put
put
them
on.
on.
Yeah, put them on. Put them on.
These are pretty. These are more for enterprise. These
Well, they're
here.
intense. They're intense.
Yeah, they're super. I walked around New York City with these on one time, and everyone looked at everyone. Like when you see me out in the real world, really using my apps and stuff. That's really me with these on, as well as the X Real glasses on. Really walking down the street, interacting with content, and using my apps and stuff.
Okay.
And
So, what do people say to you? Do they come up to you and do they look at you like you're weird or what?
um, it's like a mixed reaction. Yeah, and in Times Square, like usually where I record at, people now are like, hey, that's that guy with the glasses. That's that guy with the metaverse glasses. Like they hear the word metaverse and they see it and they automatically think metaverse. They don't know augmented, mixed, or virtual reality. They automatically say metaverse. That's all they say.
You know what? That's interesting because in 10
And
years,
here's the headset. Here's the MetaQuest headset that I have. I have another headset too, but I have to find it. This is the MetaQuest headset that I have, the most popular store as far as in VR.
whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
but I would say yeah, like most of like the reaction so far, just where the industry's going. This was really I want to say this to all the users because a lot of people misunderstand it. Magic Leap was actually one of the first to actually really get augmented reality, setting it on the path. But the only problem is that they were never able to get the cost down. That's why companies like XReal started to step in and really step up and really make it where it's made for everybody. I still say this is one of the best, but it's just not durable enough to really wear. I wear it because I'm a developer. I go outside with them on. It doesn't really bother me. But the average everyday person, I wouldn't expect anybody to wear it.
wow. Have you ever tried like the HoloLens, Microsoft HoloLens?
Yes. They're similar. They're actually similar to each other. The only difference is that the HoloLens has like a shade over it where it's like almost like a visor kind of, and it's just not. I tried it to like maybe the first version of it. It's really no difference between the two. I would take this over the HoloLens to be honest.
Wow. Okay. Out of all put back the snap again,
Okay, 1 second.
and then switch it from the snap to what's it called? Snap to the X Real.
Okay, so these are the Snap glasses,
Okay.
and these are the X Real glasses.
Okay. Now I don't know if people can see in on Twitter and the multi stream, but what do you think, Hex? What's more likable? I like the X Real glasses.
I
They
do
just
too.
look like normal,
Yeah.
cool glasses.
I'll say I'll just say that the Snap ones are really good as far as at the developer level now. This is more so for the consumer level. Even with the X Real Ultras, is still the the best choice if you're looking to really use augmented reality today
Yeah.
because it's the most available.
Yeah, I'm all about the consumer. I'm all about the
Yep.
consumer. Speaking of, we have one. Not only is he an XR's education guru, but he is also I would call him a user, a consumer. We have Hexadize. But before we go on, I'm going to ask you something, Hexadize. I want to do a shout out to the room. Big shout out to Ralph. Ralph, the head of PR for XReal, he's actually in the Twitter X space, and I did shoot him off a link to the live stream. I know he's really busy. It's he's out in the West Coast and he's got morning vibes going on in a routine. But I just shot him off a link to the live stream anyway, if he can join. But my gosh, he's in this room. That's amazing. I want to do a shout out to K-Bot. Hey, K-Bot, Altered Alley. Hey, Steelo. Is it Wednesday yet? No, tomorrow. Steelo Super Wednesdays.
Tomorrow.
That. I want to do a shout out to, we got the Xenu community here. We've got CNET's Moon, Thor's, Mark Xenu. I love that. You guys, I can't talk enough about the Xenu community and their mainnet's blockchain, but we'll get onto that maybe in a bit. I do want to do a shout out to One Darland and Lady. Ooh, look at this. Lady Rocket Eva. She's got some blue shades with blue hair going on. I love it. And Joe and Honeycomb. I guess you guys, we are live streaming, so if you can see our beautiful, pretty faces, go ahead and try to find us on the Twitter broadcast. But I'll still be watching the Twitter X space. I really do. And Ralph, I'm so glad you're here. I think he's like saying, "Oh, what are they going to say about the X-Real glasses?" So, Hexadize, you have X-Real glasses.
I do. Yeah.
From a consumer standpoint, how do you like it, and what do you use it for?
From a consumer standpoint, we use it often, most often for the things as far as like the daily use activities. We probably spend 3 to 4 hours, whether that's watching movies, TV type things, or just searching, because I like to use it to scroll through, like watch the Twitter feeds and things like that, because I can have it right in my face while I'm doing anything else, and still have, especially with the speakers. So the speakers work great. As far as the sound coming in, the microphone, I'm gonna be very honest, and Ralph, if you're listening, we could fix the microphones. I wouldn't be mad about that at all. But the speakers work great. They're quiet enough where I hear it and it doesn't annoy everybody else around me, and at the same time they're loud enough where I hear it but they don't annoy everybody else around me, right? So that's yeah, I think we spend most of it just doing little entertainment things. Now, as far as the games, because there's games like the football catch, like we like to use that one. He made like a Beat Saber type thing, okay? And so that one the kids and I have been using a lot, because you can, it's, you're playing with the beat, you go and catch the sound and everything like that. So that's a lot of fun to play in the X-Real glasses. They still have those VR type of games, but in a much more lighter weight way.
Yeah, that's amazing. You know what? I'm going to You know what's interesting? Rex, I love that you have the Snap glasses, even though I think they're fugly. They're mother fugly. But I don't know. I'm sorry, Snap. It's just a design. It's just a thing for me. But I'm sure a lot of people love it. It's great, but that's just my opinion. I get to share my opinion because this is just me. But as a developer, and you have all these things, and you did say the difference between Snap is you don't need any other device to operate it. It's all like hand gestures.
Correct.
Right.
So I don't know. Okay, so I don't have any of those glasses. So Hex, I'm gonna get all mixed up with Rex and Hex. Hex, when you're with the X-Real, you have the Beam Pro, the X-Real Beam Pro. So if you want to do anything with the X-Real, maybe Rex or Hex, tell me, how do you change stuff? Do you need to have the X Beam Pro and use it to scroll, or do you, or is it like a gesture thing?
Well, you could
right
use
now.
it. Go ahead.
I use the Beam Pro for most of the everything, right? Unless the whatever it is application specifically calls for the hand gestures. So like a lot of what Rex is gonna make is gonna require all the hand gesture stuff, right? It's all in hand. So you'll even start the game up with your hands. Whereas like a lot of your X or regular websites and things like that, you're gonna scroll through using the Beam Pro.
Oh, okay. So with
because it still has to be the app has to know, if I understand this right, the app has to know that there's something there to control it with the hands.
Yes. Usually, I mean, this is really to the developer. The developer usually has to notify the person when they download the app that this is you're going to be using hand tracking. Sometimes I can't lie, I forget to do that sometimes because I think, okay, they automatically know that, it's going to be hand gestures. I make that mistake sometimes, but that's really what a developer should do.
Yeah, because remember in our last and first time we met, we all you all discussed about, I'm not sure if it was that space or another space where we said that, yes, I think it was the space where developers and the creatives and the users really need to like collaborate together to
Mhm.
make a really great product. So does that mean that in the future, right, we will be just doing a whole bunch of hand gestures? Okay, can you see in the future that it'll just be glasses or contact whatever, and we won't need an external device?
Um, yes, but I think that's going to be a very long time because, and honestly, I would prefer that that would take some time, to be honest with you, because I think that building the trust first, as far as with it being on device, to where you're tethering it through using a device, and you're using this as a way to power the glasses, whether wirelessly or with a wire. I prefer it to be wirelessly, obviously, but even to another point, the Snap glasses may only use hand gestures, but it does give you the option to use the phone as a controller. So they're not taking away the phone 100%. That's the reason why I say that I still think you're gonna need a phone in the future, except besides you pulling it out, it'll just be sit in your pocket, pretty much. You won't have to pull it out to really do much. Everything would be right here in your glasses. So I think it's gonna take some time, but I do think eventually we will get away from the phone. But it's gonna really take a lot of work on the hardware side.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Now, Rex, I love seeing all of you. Can you kind of like
Yeah,
position
can I?
yourself?
Sorry, my
There you go. I just want to make sure that everybody gets to see you, that you can frame yourself. There,
my
getting there
right
you
here.
go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So you know what I was thinking of? So okay, so it's not that this is probably a good analogy, but let's go with it anyway. So with mobile phones, right? I
Mhm.
remember when mobile phones came out and then we had different operating systems. Like there was like Nokia Symbian, there was RIMS, I don't know what, like RIMS BlackBerry, I forgot what their OS was. Then there was the iPhone, and then there was Android, Google's Android. So that's all I know. I know like technically there were about four operating systems lurking around in the mid 2000s. So
Mhm.
now we are seeing like XR glasses or
Yes.
wearables, and you are seeing different OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, or coming up with their own like devices and products and software. So
Mhm.
there's Snap. What does Snap use? Lens Studio?
Yeah. They use the Snap OS and do Lens Studio.
Okay, then there's Xreal. What do they use? Their own proprietary software?
They use Nebula. They use a Nebula OS. That is accessible through the Google Play Store. But I don't know. I don't know 100%. Maybe Ralph can give a little bit more background on it. But I do know they use Nebula. That is a software system that they do use.
Okay, and then we have the Metas,
Mhm.
the Meta family. And what do they use? They use Unity. What do they use?
They use their own OS. They use Met well now they moved to their own OS, and they use what we call an all-in-one SDK, which gives you access to everything from hand tracking, pretty much body tracking, everything. Um, and they're making this accessible through Android Studios. That's the reason why during the Meta Connect they talked about bringing 2D games to virtual reality and mixed reality, where now if you have a two-dimensional game on the phone, you can put it onto Meta through them.
Okay. Okay, now from a developer perspective, wouldn't
Mhm.
it be far easier for them to come? I know this is ideal, and who am I? I'm just like saying it. Wouldn't it be far more easier and effective and efficient, maybe, that for all these OEMs to have to come together and have like a standard something that they can use with all glasses? Because I remember, I could be wrong. I remember when Unity came out, and it wasn't really known. I don't know. I think Unity wasn't really known as gaming. the gaming platform it is. I remember speaking to, I forgot his name, Tom something, the product evangelist of Unity. I think this was in 2009 at one of the DroidCon conferences in Berlin. And what he said was, I remember him saying Unity was created for devs, for mobile developers, maybe for the gaming, but for mobile devs, especially for Android and iOS, so that it was like code one, deploy all, meaning you create one code, you use Unity, and then boom, you deploy it to Android and iOS. I thought that was brilliant. And now look at Unity, what Unity is today. Do you feel that somewhere in the future we will have that type of standardized something?
Yeah, and I think we're close. One software system, particularly for XR in general, is OpenXR. OpenXR is central towards every device. Every device that I can think of. I don't think XReal has done it yet. I do know on some of the Discord channels, maybe like a few years back, I did see during the time of Emerald Light, they were moving towards using OpenXR, even though I do see some developers that were able to do it. But OpenXR has been central to every headset, every pair of glasses that I built for. OpenXR to me is going to be, it's close to it, but I do think that it needs to start being more centralized, centralized for every device. Where you build for one, you build for all. But that's also not to the advantage of the actual companies. To me, that's the reason why I think that they're not going to go that direction, because everyone pretty much wants to be able to build out their own ecosystem as far as with being able to power artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and mixed reality.
Okay, you know what? That's a great point, and I did not know about the OpenXR at all. And for those of you that are listening, maybe you're like me, you just learned that today. Thank you for sharing that. So when you said, I don't know, when you said you don't feel that a lot of the companies are going to go that way because they want to create their own ecosystem, I'm going to put this question to Hex. How does that make you feel? Like, okay, like as a consumer, it's like, yay, we get more toys, we have more options to choose from. But I don't know. What do you think about that, Hex?
About the open builder, yeah, like where it's a one for all kind of thing.
Yeah, more no, more about how all these companies may not go with OpenXR and just
May
build,
not do it.
yeah, and
Oh
just build
yeah,
their own software to create their own ecosystem.
I think there's always going to be those, and I think it's some areas there needs to be those. It's good. It can be healthy, right? It can be healthy to have a gate on my property, okay, and at the same time to for it to also be open and fair for anyone to come in and enter my home, right? And so I think it can go both ways. The safety of having a closed builder, right? Because you can regulate what's being done, but at the same time, when it's open, the possibilities of development are endless, right? Because once you close it, now you're only capable to develop as far as you're willing to let people to go. But once you open it, like it's yeah, it's done. It's
You know,
what can happen, right?
I'm glad you brought that up because that's kind of like what happened to iOS and Android. It wasn't quite
Right.
the answer I was looking for, but I'm glad that you went there. So when you're talking about open source, like open and closed, back then it was if you were a developer, and I know you know this, Rex,
Yep.
getting your app into the iOS store, it's like going through the CIA, the FBI, going to bars and back and doing it, and that
Yeah,
was what was so frustrating, right?
yeah,
But
that was my first store that I built my app for. Very first store.
right? But then with Android, it was like everybody come and go,
Yeah,
everybody come on in. But it was also you got crappy apps. Not only that, there were
yeah,
so many Android devices and screen sizes and stuff that it was like people called it was really fragmented, like,
yeah.
and that was frustrating. But because Google made it open source, look who's got the market now. Like, okay, like Android, there's a lot of Android devices right now, and
Mhm.
that's because it's just there's what Huawei, there's so many. I won't even go there.
Oppo,
But
Oppo,
Oppo,
yeah,
Oppo is
Spectrum.
is good in Asia. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
My dad.
Oh, by the way, they did have a pair of augmented reality glasses maybe about 2 years ago that I did build a couple of apps for. I
No.
did build for them.
Hey. Okay, but let's get into something. When Rex said that there is a standard like XR open XR software for anybody with an XR device can create apps for, but he feels that a lot of these companies or brands will just do their own proprietary software. What I'm thinking is that's going to create some divisiveness. Like if you think about it, like think about being in high school and you guys had Nikes or a pair of Air Jordans or a pair of Vans, right? It's like you had that niche and the Vans people didn't like the Air Jordans and the Air Jordans, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
then when we're out there in the real world, what are you going to be? Are you going to be an X Reel? Are you going to be a Meta? Are you going to be a
Mhm.
Snap? I see that already.
Yeah. I think that it's going to be a lot of options in terms of augmented and virtual reality. I think you're going to have your choice. Like if you don't like Meta, you'll work with Pico VR. You
Mhm.
don't like Snap, you'll work with Xreal. So I think it's going to be more options. But to be honest with you, I eventually this is going to consolidate down to 3 to 4 major companies. Um, I think in terms of the closest, I'm not saying it just because it's a developer, but I think XReal is definitely going to be one of those companies. I think it's going to be Snap, and I think it's going to be Meta. That's just me just seeing how this shakes out because you can't really judge it off of the software from the standpoint of the app. Sorry, the software. It's really about the apps, the quality of the apps. That's what's going to make people really want to buy the glasses and buy the headset. MetaQuest is trying to do that with the release of Batman, the release of several games that are on console. So I think those 3 companies are doing a good job as far as with giving a shot to the smaller developers, but also paying attention and really giving it and really opening it to bigger companies to where now it's bringing the attention. Xreal to me is
Right.
bringing the attention. Snap's bringing the attention. Meta's bringing the attention. So I think it's going to shake out eventually to where it's going to be 3 companies.
Whoa. Okay. Okay. Guys, did you catch that? So Rex said that he believes that there's going to be 3 or 4 players or 3 players in the XR space, and that is Xreal, Meta, and Snap. He did not mention the A company, the one with the fruit, Apple. Did
Yeah,
like was that conscious or
I,
did you
I'll,
just
I'll, I'll explain. I'll explain to that now.
yeah.
I think Apple will be a player because obviously they're Apple, but I think they're gonna. I think they're really running into a problem where they were trying to capitalize on the name of Apple selling their first device, which is not a failure. I don't think the Apple Vision Pro is a failure, but I do think that the Apple Vision Pro fell short of the mark by more so trying to capitalize off of the name rather than capitalizing off the software, capitalizing off of the developer community. Because what makes a headset work, what makes a pair of augmented reality glasses work, is a developer community, meaning it's open for developers to try to build for it. Apple made it where it made so many barriers to not just buy it, but also for developers to build for it. So, if you shove out $3,000 to get a headset, now you got to pay $200 a month for Unity Pro to build for it. That's going to discourage a lot of developers, particularly small developers who are just really getting started. So I think Apple's gonna get themselves back into shape. But for right now, those are the 3 companies that I have.
No, I like it. I like it. And I want to remind people, first of all, you are here at the first episode of the XR discussion on Tech Talk Tuesday. We're going to have this every month with Rex, Hex, and Digi. And you know what? I'm so glad that you guys are here. I want to do a shout out. Who just came into the room? Oh, I saw one woman. Hey, one woman. So one woman, Ralph is here, the head of PR for XReal. And Ralph, if you don't know, one woman purchased, was it 2 weeks ago or was it last week? I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Last week.
Yeah, I think
Last week,
Yeah.
she purchased a pair of X-Real glasses because she was on Tech
Got
Talk
them in.
today, and we were talking about like the X-Real glasses. I want to do a shout out to Ira. Hi, Ira. Ooh, Etiquette. Hi, Virtual X. Hi, Rick the Ruler. Hey, Dio. Hey, DOG is here. Hey, Pappy. Hey, Pappy. Hey, Creatio. Thanks for joining. I also, hey, Hexadize is here too on the space. I want to do a shout out to Rastafa. I see that you've requested to speak. I will bring you up in a bit. But yes, Ralph said he's going to join us next month. Woohoo! So this is
Cool.
fantastic. This is really fantastic. Guys, I'm so glad you're here on our first inaugural episode of the XR discussion on Tech Talk Tuesday. What Rex just said about what Apple initially missed was they were more hyping on the name as opposed to the developer community. He is right. If you don't know, and I believe Rex remembers this, I'm going to talk about it again. When Google launched Android, their open source mobile operating system, do you know what they did? They literally gave, I think it was the Google One, G1, I don't know. They
Mhm.
literally gave a device to every single developer for
Every
free.
single one.
Everyone. And do you know that the Apple fanboys were tweeting and they're like, ha ha, they were laughing and they're like, ha ha ha, Android's such a loser. They're so desperate. Nobody's buying their phones that they had to give it their phones away. Just ha, ha, they're laughing. But
Yeah.
no, wasn't that brilliant?
Yeah,
And then
it was smart. It was smart because think about it. We would not have Candy Crush. We would not have Flappy Birds. We would not have Temple Run if they didn't do that.
yes, yes. And you know what also they did? They were
Mhm.
handing out phones in a lot of their developer conferences. I remember going, I know this is not all about me, but I'm kind of like wanting to throw some stuff here. I remember I attended the Mobile World Conference in 2009 and I got into the one of the Google developer like events. I got the Google Nexus 1 phone for free. I wasn't a developer, but they were if your name was on the list to attend,
And they
they
just
were
handed you one.
box. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my friends that were developers, they had two. They managed to like shut up. And we had like a whole Android orgy. I actually have a photo of all our
Yeah.
Google Nexus ones in an orgy. But for those of you out there, if you're an OEM, think about it. If you're going to empower your brand or your product, the more you give, what is it? If you can get your product into the hands of the developers, that is the way to go. That is
Mhm.
definitely the way to go.
Yeah.
So we're pretty much halfway through the talk, and I know that we're going to put this for 1 hour. And it's not going to be like our usual an hour and a half. I think we're going to open it up to questions now. If anybody has any questions out on the Twitter X space, come up and speak. I'm going to bring up Rastafa. I know who he is. Rastafa Geddes, and he is a research scientist in STEM. He's researcher, scientist, STEM activist, conference organizer, committee member, advisor, AI, and biomedical. Now, if this isn't everything of all the verticals an XR device can be used for, I don't know what is. Hi, Dr. Raz. How are you doing?
I am very well, and hello. I'm here to support you. Congratulations on your Tech Talk Tuesdays. Everyone, I'm Dr. Ross. I'm RAS because I'm really a scientist. And yes, I love this stuff. And I was itching to ask from everything that you guys talked about, education as an educational institution, right? Because you guys talked about the now, but also foreshadowing the future. And so I had two questions. What is the impact, and how do, as someone in charge of an educational institution, how do we understand and integrate this fast changing world? And then secondly, when we're talking about the all the headsets and all this, as a neuroscientist, I want you guys to think about this for a second. If you take a second and close your eyes, we're not just visual creatures. This is just one mode of reception. So when we really think about the future, I don't think we even thinking in the right space right now, because right now what's being worked on is augmented reality that is tactile, right? That you can actually touch and respond to you and you respond to it.
Yep.
And integrating that with BCI, it's a whole new world. So let me shut up. But yeah, education, how does that play a role? And how do we stay up to speed with this?
Dr. Raz, I love that question.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
I'll say the way that education can cannot just catch up with it, but not really catch up with it, but I would say more so benefit from it, is that augmented and mixed reality allows us to be an extension of the classroom from the standpoint of where a child can actually, or a student can actually learn a course while on the way to school virtually, even on Saturdays where, they have the glasses with them. It could be a virtual teacher there in front of them, teaching them about their math, teaching them about English, teaching them about world history. And even now with certain virtual reality experiences that are available that's under development, where they're actually showing a visual representation of a historic event where people are learning about the history of America, the history of other countries, all those things virtually. So I think overall the answer to your question is that this could be an extension of what you already do. It's not going to replace what you do. It's going to more so take the knowledge you know as a professor and really put a visual look to it, and your students will be able to learn virtually on the go anywhere.
Right. Dr. Raz, did you hear that?
Absolutely. I'm here and I'm right here for it.
I love that. Dr. Raz, we're gonna have you on in one of our XR discussions.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. Yeah.
Definitely. I didn't mean to cut you off, Dr. Raz. What else were you gonna say?
I also wanted you guys to speak to within all of this, what you're saying, absolutely, it can be integrated into the curriculum, the work we're doing. But also what's important is each of you guys have a title and multiple titles, right? And within this space, it allows for not like before where you might just have one title, but it's such an integrated space world ecosystem that you serve multiple roles and have multiple titles, which are if they're not terminal degree titles, they're still career, positions that you can aspire to by making your educational trajectory a certain way. Can you guys speak to these different opportunities and titles and positions that come in this new emerging space?
Yeah. So some of the new careers in this XR space is that we have at least there's not the exact name for the title. I'm pretty sure they'll come up with a better title than I can. But virtual architects, meaning this, we have people that actually build these virtual worlds, not just from a scripting perspective, but continue to curate and make these virtual experiences better. Because now I'll give you a perfect example. So on Horizon Worlds that I have a world in that I use as my virtual office, I actually hire somebody to come in and curate and continue to update my world. That can be a job in itself that you can use in augmented and virtual reality. The reason why that is because as time changes, if the new type of information that they need to learn changes, meaning this, you need to have someone curating and continue to update your world that you don't want to particularly do yourself. So you will hire somebody who is an expert of curating your virtual content and curating your virtual experience, where it's not just someone's just handing you a template and it's just one size fits all. You need to continue to update it as the curriculum change and as the world changes. So that's one job title that I think is really going to be it's going to really open up a lot of opportunities where now it's going to be 4 or 5 digital curators in virtual reality besides one. AI is going to play a part, but it's definitely just so far just seeing it. AI cannot replace this 100% yet, and we need those type of people in this particular business.
Wow. Dr. Raz, were you able to hear that?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for this moment to have this conversation because, again, everything starts from education. And yeah, you guys, again, in formal education, we normally think of, what industry are you going into? And so the other point I want to make is that what you do crosses industries, and it's a change of mindset in order to appreciate and understand. So can you just speak briefly then, if you guys can just mention what kind of skills or things you need to learn to do what you do?
I'll say taking myself out of it as a developer, I would say just learning 3D design from the standpoint of being able to build digital assets. You can learn skills from like Blender, Maya, And as well now, a lot that's being automated, but it's not really being automated that well. So skills like in Blender, Maya. If you want to become a developer, I would say learn C Sharp, learn JavaScript, learn how, and even something that I'm just starting to learn now is making lenses for the snap glasses. Becoming someone who can make a visual experience, because it's not all code. It's more so about the experience. And I think that's what people are missing here, is that it's really about really taking what is done in the real world and really simulating that effectively in the virtual world. And really what that comes down to is really just your creativity and your ability to design. That's where it starts. So I would say those are the skills that you want to start with.
Oh my God, this is perfect. Let me just wrap this up like this. With everything that you just said and Halloween coming up, what is the AR community doing? Like you're saying, bringing the real world to having that digital component to the real world.
Yep.
Any events or things you can explain and talk about in the respect of, the Halloween season coming up and then, holidays X, Y, and Z?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to. Oh, I don't. I just. I'd like to bring that up. I wonder if Hex would like to. Hex.
Yeah,
Um,
Hex would. Yeah, I think that's something.
on his Web3 Wednesdays and Supar Saturdays, he's been promoting a lot of these Halloween experiences. Can you tell us about that, Hex?
Well, I was kind of interested in hearing what Rex was gonna say. Like, I was hoping there's gonna be some like vampires or like zombies I had to run away from or something
Yeah.
somewhere. Uh,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we
Oh,
do
go ahead.
have there are the events across the metaverse, right? So Soyo Crypto created there's like 13 chapters of a whole Halloween story thing that you get to go through. Just, I mean, you go through hell and back, okay? And that's that you can find Soyo Crypto and Hollywood Land Studios. They've got all the QR codes out there. Altered Alley's got the haunted alley throughout Spatial. Good
Yep.
luck making it all the way through. If you're gonna run through, go through with the headset. That's all I can say. Go through with that. It's fun on your phone, but you go in like fully immersed. It's a whole game changer. But that goes not just on Spatial. It also crosses into Super World and Over the Reality and all the other fun little AR spots over there. On Chain Records has their Halloween show, which is the Halloween Spooktacular. They're dropping they just dropped a whole vinyl with a whole collective of artists that they're doing a thing over there. So you'll get to hear those artists, check them out in Voxels. Same thing with Avatar Convention Center. Whole thing going on over there. You can hop in there. You might see some Hexadise stuff, some Wonderland stuff, you'll see a lot of K-Bot stuff, but you'll see like Kane Mayfield and all the other OGs inside there as well. And then what are we doing, Rex? What do we got?
Yeah, what we got?
Yeah, so I gotta shout out this creator on VR chat. He has a room called the Smile Room. The Smile Room is a haunted game that everybody should play on VR chat. Play it on your mobile phone if you don't have a headset, but it's a very scary game. I would suggest getting through the game with somebody. That's one event that I'll be attending. Me and a few other developers are going to be attending next week. And also as well, we do have a small augmented reality Halloween trick or treat type of app that we're putting together, where kids are able to go door to door, simulating getting trick or treat, like that for the kids. And then as well on Horizon Worlds, we do have a haunted mansion called Creep. It's a teddy bear. It's a teddy bear, but it's scary. It's a really I can't tell you 100% what it is. I'm gonna put the link up there. It's on Horizon Worlds. It is one of the most scariest worlds on Horizon Worlds. But those are some of the events that I am a part of and that I will be attending.
Okay, so the first one on VR chat was
The Smile Room. Yeah.
The Smile Room. Oh my God.
And let me tell you, you do not want to go through that by yourself. You don't.
Well, I don't even think I want to go.
It's that scary. It's really that scary.
Oh my God, Dr. Raz, did you hear that?
I'm so in tune for it. Here's where I'm at with it. Next Saturday, I have a Boy Scout camp to go to. I think this is perfect for Boy Scout camp. And this is on.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Smile Room.
On
Mm.
that one. I think this would be great for that.
I made it. I made it through the Smile Room once. I made it through the Smile Room once by myself. I made it once. It was a struggle, but I made it once.
Oh, you know what? I don't even know what to say about that. I may or may not join. Hex, do you want to join with me? Like, I don't. Maybe the usual. Maybe Altered Alley, Joe, and Hex and I will all go in it together since
That
we were pretty much
that
right.
I'm just remembering that game you played that one time, the red polygon character game where it's like a
Oh, the
shooting game, and
super,
I think
super.
you got in it for like 2 seconds. You said this is too much, and you jumped out. I'm just imagining you going into the smiley room.
No, and that was only the demo. What was that called? Super. It was called Super something. That red man.
Polygon, yeah, it's like Polygon. It was a poly something game. Yeah, it was an early stage game. Yeah, you're right. It
Yeah.
was an early stage mini game.
There's
Yeah.
another one. Slender. There's another one called I think it's Slender Man. Slender Man.
Oh, hell no, no,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. I'm not doing
that
that. I'm
game.
not,
That game is.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing it.
My kids love Slender Man, sound and then there's the sound guy, Speakerhead, and then all of it, all of it.
There's a game. I'm sorry to cut you off, but there's a game.
Yeah.
Remember the movie called where if you make a sound, that monster comes out?
Yeah.
That's actually now on PC. I think it's on PC, but I do know. I
Stay
heard it's going
quiet.
to be on VR. Yeah. Like you have to be quiet. Like if you step on like a puddle or something, it'll get you. If you step on like anything, it'll get you. Like that's another good game. Actually, I had an idea for an augmented reality game to do that, but I'm still trying to prototype that. But yeah, that's
That would be
that's a
fun.
really good game.
Okay, that would be
Walking
really
through like a real world woods and then like still
Yep.
having like stay quiet and then,
Yep.
that would be
Mhm.
that could be fun. Like on a hiking trail or something. Yeah, a haunted trail. Ooh, could we just forget about it? Yeah.
Okay, this is getting too real for me. This is like crazy. Oh, that red man was super hot. It was called Super Hot. I
Super
remember.
hot.
Super hot. That's what it was. Yes. Yes. You were in there for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
The video's still up on YouTube if anybody's interested. You want to go see her like not play a
Send
game.
me that. Send me that.
No, I was literally like, get away from me. No. That's insane. You know what? You know who was here? I wanted to I threw him a mic. It was Mitch Jackson. He was the lawyer.
I like Mitch.
Yeah. He does.
Yeah.
I believe he does talks really early every Mondays and Wednesdays. Really super
Wednesdays,
informative.
right before. Yep.
Yep.
He does a Web3 Wednesday thing in Spatial. Yeah.
I threw him a mic. I wanted to get him on because we need to talk about this law and the implications of XR. This is like fantastic. Oh my gosh, my dog. I do want to shout out to Rosemary. Hi, Rosemary from the Xeno Mainnets community. So happy to have you here with us. Who else just joined? Mitch Jackson, if you're here, if you did listen, I know you're busy. Thank you for joining. Who just joined? Bulda. Bulda.io, practical solutions with decentralized identity. Love it. Thank you for joining our first ever XR discussion on Tech Talk Tuesday. And Jero. Hey, Jero, thank you for joining. And there was somebody else that came on that I wanted to do a shout out. I know he was part of the XReal community, I guess because he saw Ralph in here. And I think Ralph just jetted out. Guys, we are 8 minutes into, is it 8? 8 minutes into the ending of this XR discussion. If you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. Dr. Raz, you put up a lot of great questions. And you know what, Dr. Raz, it reminded me, remember when Minecraft came out and then Microsoft bought Minecraft because what's his face sold it? And that's a whole other thing. But then Minecraft came up with Minecraft EDU, Minecraft Education. I actually joined that kind of community. So you got teachers using Minecraft. First of all, they had to learn how to play Minecraft. And then you had teachers learning Minecraft and then using it in their classrooms to teach about farming, physics with redstone, all the like community building, all that kind of stuff. And I love that. And I definitely can see that happening with like in XR. just like what Dr. Raz was asking and Rex, what you were saying.
Yeah,
Dr.
they're trying
Raz,
to do that with Roblox. They're doing that with Roblox as well. They're trying to do
yeah,
that with Roblox.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. Dr. Raz, I saw you unmute. What were you gonna
Yeah,
say?
I just wanted to plug. That's absolutely right. And just because of my bias, I have to say. So you imagine that, but now you get to play with blood and brains.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with it, man. I'm so excited to be able to not only teach about the brain and the body. So what you mentioned about the sound game, we should definitely have a conversation about, because the things and the way my approach to teaching, and we're all students, so it's the five senses, because we all have them. Some of them are compromised and some of us, but it's the five senses, and all roads lead to the brain. So it's very exciting things, and we're all learners. So the idea for me is to break down the box of education and of institutional learning, because we all have to learn, and now we have devices and technologies that we can all learn on the go and share that information. So why not?
No,
So
that's
thank you for the opportunity.
no, that's true, Dr. Raz. What were you gonna say, Rex?
Oh, no.
No, Dr. Raz, I'm so glad you joined and you asked all these questions. I have a lot of stuff to ask you, and definitely we're going to bring you on from an educator, neuroscientist point of view. That discussion is going to be like a hot topic, 100%, 100%. I want to do a shout out to Conrad for joining. Hey, Conrad, thanks for joining our first ever XR discussion on Tech Talk Tuesday. This is like insane. I don't know. I have so here's something I was thinking about last night, knowing we were going to have our first XR with Rex, Hex, and Digi. I was thinking about, you know how there's a conspiracy theory or a theory that we're living in a matrix and all this is a simulation. Like there's a hell of a lot of YouTube videos about that. And I'm not saying I'm not saying it's true or not. I'm just saying something. I just want to talk about this. So if that were to be true, hypothetically, if we were living in a simulation, wouldn't this be kind of like an inception? Because now we have the us as avatars in a simulation, creating a simulation of a simulation. Do you know where I'm going?
Mhm.
Like
Okay.
Like,
I don't know. Go on. What are you gonna say, Hex?
well, because I want to say that there was somebody that put some AI agents into Roblox. They put 1,000 of them in there, and like, and then the AIs ended up creating like this whole voting structure for themselves. Like nobody told them to do anything, but at the end of it, like, or towards like after months or weeks or whatever, like there was this whole thing that like it just the simulation created simulations inside of the
Yep.
simulation to work out problems for the simulation. So yeah, it's a maybe we are just that Roblox simulation creating simulations and voting and thinking we're something, but we're just
I'm going to answer that question, but I do got to mention one kind of AI model that I think everyone can learn to build, but it's called Gale. Gail. It's called Gale. It's a generative adversarial imitation learning, meaning it imitates
okay.
what we learn. Meaning, like, if we learn math this way, it'll learn how to learn math our way. Like that's one that we use currently right now in virtual reality and augmented reality to simulate certain jobs that an AI needs to do. And that's one model that hasn't been put out into the quote unquote wild yet, but that's definitely an AI model I suggest everyone to take a look at. It isn't. I'm not saying it's this Skynet or anything like that. I'm just saying that it's a very powerful AI model that I think everyone can use, but also I would say use cautiously.
Okay.
It really depends on the use case.
Wow. So what does GALE stand for?
Generative adversarial imitation learning.
Generative adversarial imitation learning.
Learn.
Dr. Raz, did you get that? And for all of you out there, I'm definitely going to look into that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Because I learned a little bit just learning. I learned a little bit just learning how to build machine learning models myself. That was one model that I did see that was really interesting because I had to take it from coding it and I had to put it actually into Unity and see if it worked. And I realized, oh, okay, let me see if I can use it on glasses. I didn't find the use cases for it yet, but I will say that it's really powerful in a simulated environment.
Whoa.
I can see
Dr.
that.
Raz, what were you going to say? Dr. Raz? Okay, he's requesting. There's something going on with Twitter X, but we are 2 minutes into the hour. I do want to respect our my co-hosts' time, Hex and Rex. Dr. Raz, what were you gonna say? You have the
No,
mic.
I fell off, but this is brilliant. Yes, Rex, we definitely have to talk about that. That has so much implication in neurodiversity and learning.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Okay, we're gonna bring.
absolutely.
Yeah, we will definitely plan that, and we probably it would be great to get like Dr. Raz and Mitch Jackson at the same. First, we'll get Dr. Raz, then we'll get Mitch Jackson, then we'll get both of them together with all of us, and
And
we're
I
gonna.
mentioned the game. The game it learned to play really well. It's funny. It learned how to play Pac-Man really well. Pac-Man and Pac-Man and Tetris. That was a game that it learned to play. It didn't
Oh,
learn through trial and error.
you
It
mean
imitated
Gail?
what I did, how to play Tetris, and it figured out how to move a block here to basically win the game.
Oh, so you know what the use case would
Interesting.
be? If you can get an expert, a skilled expert in whatever field, whether whether it's in medicine, in surgery, in race car driving, in any type of thing, and you can get Gail, the AI model, to learn that expert's skill, then that could definitely be like a use case where you package that and everybody else can learn from that.
Yep,
I don't know.
absolutely.
All right.
Yes, can I just say that's it? I know we got to go. We definitely got to continue, but that's a great use case. But even better use case is this. It's learning how you learn. So now we can take other material and convert that to be able to show you how to learn new material in the way that you.
Right.
Oh yeah. Yes, Dr. Raz. You went up to me right on
There's a
multi-streaming.
we need to put that on the, we need to put that on the board. But that's definitely a grant right there.
Yes. Well, of course he's gonna one up me. He's a doctor. Hello. But Dr. Raz, I love that. Okay, everyone. It's that time on a Metaverse Radio. For those of you listening, before we end, I do want to say that this program's content does not necessarily represent the views of Metaverse Radio and is for entertainment only. It is not legal, medical, financial, or investment advice. The host, guest speakers, artists, and other collaborators may have personal or financial interest in the subjects they discuss. So please critically assess the information presented. Not all content is appropriate for all ages. Listener discretion is advised. And for those of you listening or watching on the multi-streams and on Metaverse Radio, just know that the second last Tuesday of every month, we will have Tech Talk Tuesdays. We'll have an XR discussion specifically with Rex and Hex and Digi, and we will be bringing on different types of speakers. And this has been fantastic. My handsome co-hosts, do you guys have any last words to say?
My last words would be is that we're still in the early stages of the metaverse, or whatever you want to call it, augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality. Start building. That's my message. Start building for it.
That's right. Thank you, Rex and Hex.
Go play with it. That's it. Go play. There's so much stuff to go see and play with. There's no excuses of like, well, there's nothing to do. That's crap. There's so much to do.
So much
Like
to do.
there's so much to do. Just the haunted alley is 3 hours long to go through it, and that's if you know where the portals are.
Yes. And we haven't even talked about the 13 haunted hexes. That's a whole other freaking thing.
That's a whole nother 5 hours.
Right? Dr. Raz, high five. What were your last words?
Yeah, before I get out of here, I have to plug and check. You guys have to go to Microtron AI. That's MICROTRON, microtronaI.com, and go to Versus. So Versus is actually, you guys will really like this, but well, you have to go and check it out and see what it is.
Yeah.
It's virtual reality, augmented reality, AI, Gen AI. If any of that mean anything to you, go check out microtronai.com versus we got a lot of great stuff going on over there, and we haven't seen drops for the rest of the year.
Whoa. All right, then we'll do.
Cool.
I kind of posted it up here, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Shout out. Oh, hi, Sam. Thank you for joining. I know she's got the T-shirt that says Satoshi is female. I only got the sticker, but anyway, guys, I'll do a shout out to everybody, but then it's just gonna make it every longer. I really appreciate everyone for joining on behalf of Rex and Hex. We hope you join us every second last Tuesday of the month for these XR discussions. And my last word is, despite all what's coming in the digital realm and the XR realm, always know that every moment you get to choose love. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. I'm just going to kind of like wait a bit and I will end this. I'm going to end the stream. Bye, Hex. Thank you so much.